So.
Look at this. Look at this fanciness.
Fancy.
My goodness. Whoa. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's like we know what we're doing.
Professional title. Oh my God.
I don't understand.
I mean, who would have thought that?
My goodness.
There is a delay.
That was something, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a delay on YouTube.
There's a delay on YouTube?
Yeah, we're at 38 seconds, 37, 35. So there is a delay.
Okay, now I did this last night.
And we are live on YouTube.
We're live on Ghost Claw Entertainment, which is good. So now we need to do copy link. Go back to me. Go back to me again. Go back. Nobody ever seems to get that joke. We're back live. Sorry about that. It's just a joke, and I use it all the time, and nobody seems to get it. Okay, let's see if we can share this out. Page. Post. Page. Post. Might want to turn the volume down so I don't bleed over myself. That might be a good idea. Okay. Group sharing. We're 4 minutes out. Mm-hmm. 11 people watching. Nothing to see yet. We're almost there, gang.
Maybe you should put up the face for radio.
You know what? That's not a terrible idea.
Like we could put that up now until
right.
We're actually going to be on. So
that's not a terrible idea. Maybe next week I will try to remember that.
Okay. Our face for radio block.
It's out there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, get that there.
I didn't get to share the YouTube yet.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Facebook sharing is done. Oh, good. It's 6 o'clock. That. We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
We hope. Oh. Blocked on one-on-one.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do.
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who brings the job a fresh new point of view. Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair? We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you'll cast your vote for Kennedy, and the change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Welcome from my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States. You know, such as it is, the United States, united sort of, kind of, I guess, still formally, in a way. North American continent, Western Hemisphere of this planet Earth, the only one we have. Third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is the Kennedy Effect, live with you for the 15th of February, 2026. The 15th already of February, 2026. Little static there as I punched my microphone, as I will do usually once per show. Hopefully that'll be the end of that. I think it's a little cord problem there, but I think I took care of it. So if everything looks different to you, we are live on a new streaming service. We are live now on StreamYard, which is a new way to bring the show to you, a new video way to bring the show to you. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, and I think that's it. I think that's everybody. And I like it. So far, I like it. So far, it's been good. Now, you may have been around last night that George and I were testing this new system and testing the new. Oh, by the way, can you tell me if we're on GCPR on the radio? Because I had to redo all those settings again.
Yes, we are. We're yeah.
Thank goodness. Okay, yeah, because I had to do them again, and God knows it's
we're live. Yes.
Yeah, all I had to do was type one thing wrong, and that would have been the end of that. But I hope you were with us last night. If you caught it, that we were testing this new program out and trying to work with the phone and playing with graphics and it was just fun. I mean, usually we tend to make testing fun. I thought it was fun. I had fun. We got off before we ruined T. Nathan's show. And so then we did all that. And then last night, my computer did an update. And then nearly all of those settings that we had perfected, so to speak, last night went away. And I had to redo them all. Now, you might recall me telling George last night on the air, so to speak, on the air, that we would need to start early tonight because of the update. Well, I was right. And we needed to, we definitely needed to start early, and we did. And I'm glad that we did, but I don't know. I would love to hear from you all out there in the watching world what you think of this new layout, what you think of these new graphics, and what you think of these new kind of a new way to bring you the program. I'd love to know what you think. Tell us what you think. Go into the comments section wherever you might be watching and let us know what you're thinking. I would deeply appreciate the feedback. Where this is a GCPR investment. This is a GCPR wide effort to bring this program, bring all the GCR programs to you in this new sort of way. If it looks nice to you, if it's visually attractive, then please tell us. If you couldn't care less and you're just listening and you don't watch, tell us that part. If you are couldn't care less, you're watching, but you really couldn't care less, tell us that part too. It's fine. I'm just curious what you think. We put a pretty substantial investment into this, and I would love to know what you are thinking. Anyway, this is the Kennedy Effect Live for the 15th of February, 2026. I hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day weekend. Kristen and I did the chocolate trail in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania yesterday, which was a run by the Downtown Association. You get to walk through the downtown, stop at all these different stores, and pick up chocolate treats, which is exactly what we did. It was almost a little bit, it was a little reminiscent of adult trick-or-treat. Go into the stores, get your little passport checked off, and get a little treat. And it was worth, very, very much worth the day. I thought it was really, really well done, very well taken care of. And and arranged, and so on and so on and so on. A lot of fun. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day weekend. Hope the upcoming work week for you is painless and not so bad to take as we enter yet another trudgerous work week here in the United States. I want to say hello to Donna and Randall and Annabelle and Harley. And if I am missing anybody, please let me know. Good to see all of you here. We are live right now on the Facebook groups or pages of Our Revolution Pennsylvania, hot101.net, Ghost Claw Productions. We are live at the Facebook home of this program, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. We are live right now. That is the place to find us on Facebook, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. We have also shared the program around, to well over 100 other places across the Facebook universe, and to every single destination along the Facebook universe that allows us to be part of your corner of Facebook. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We could not do it without you. We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels, the YouTube channel for GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, and The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. I will see all of your comments coming from any of those places. We are also live on the GCPR Twitch channel. Chuckles in the chat. Good to see Chuckles. We're all waiting very bated breathly on Harley's good news. She has good news to share with the family. That's awesome. We love that. So thrilled to be with you, like really, really thrilled to be with you, and thrilled to have this new format. We hope that you enjoy it. We hope you enjoy the program. Just by the number of viewers, there has to be a number of you that are out there that are brand new. We hope so. And if you are, please tell us if you're new to the program. Also, if you wouldn't mind dropping into the chat, telling us where you are. And I certainly do not mean your street address. I'm not trying to dox anybody. I'm just wondering what city, state you might be in, where it is that you're listening around the country, and especially around the world. GCPR has a worldwide audience, and we hope that you can tell us where you're listening to. It's just curious. It's nothing that we necessarily need to know, and I'm not trying to pry. I just find it curious where everyone is listening from. We'll try phones perhaps later in the program. The phone line is not working in the traditional way because of this new setup, but we will try. And I think that pretty much takes care of everything. Let's get into the program. Great to have George here as well. The program is not the same without him. It's always a better program when he is here. So great to have every single one of you here along with us today. So let's get into the program. I wanted to talk a little bit about the daily distraction. And the header for the program, wherever you might be seeing it, would be to ask you how you're doing in these troubled times. And I think it's important to ask how we're feeling, how we're doing, how we're getting through all of this craziness. It's a very, very hard thing to do, to try to get through all of this, even though we do have each other. Annabelle asking if we took care of the faux pas from yesterday. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We took care of it. We have not been able to, we deleted the video from everywhere we could delete it from. So, and we have not seen, and hopefully you haven't gotten any crazy phone calls. Please tell us if you did. I hope not. But we deleted it from everywhere that we could delete it from. Okay, so, and that's why we're not doing phones tonight in the traditional way that we were, or in the way that we were trying to do them last night, because I'm not giving away everybody's phone number. That's why we won't be doing that again. Chuckles is in Colorado. I had never had any idea where you were from, sir. That's very, very cool. Pikes Peak, visible from my front porch, due north about 50 miles. That's quite a distance to be able to see. That's clear skies right there when you can see something 50 miles away. But then again, Pikes Peak's pretty high, so you should be able to see it, I suppose, but still 50 miles away. I'll take it. Harley is in North Carolina. Thank you for telling us that. I'm just curious. Like I said, it's nothing terribly important. I'm just curious where everybody's from, especially new names to the program. We really want to know where you're from and where you're listening, and if you're enjoying. Please read the crawl. Read the crawl under the screen. Your questions, your comments, I guess your suggestions, I don't always take those very well. I get hurt sometimes, are welcome here. If you want to ask about politics, ask about the news, ask about current events, that's what this program is, especially for any of you who are brand new. The Kennedy Effect is 7 years old. We've been on the air for 7 years. And our formal 7th anniversary will be in April, but we're this far away from 7 years on the air, bringing you politics, analysis, news, history, all of it. And we want you to be a part of it. We want you to be a contributor. We want you to help drive the discussion. I am not here to lecture you, even though I can. I don't want to. That's not what we're here for. This is an interactive program. We take your phone calls, your questions, and your comments. So if you have questions and comments, drop them in the chat. And Harley asks, is it true that Piggly Wiggly is not a thing in certain states? Correct. I believe it is largely a southern grocery chain, if I'm not mistaken. Piggly Wiggly, I think, is southern, isn't it? Mostly, I think it's southern. But we don't have any in Pennsylvania. There's none in the Northeast.
Prominently featured in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Correct. Yes, the trucks. Yeah, that's right. The trucks, the masked trucks. So, all right, let's get into it. This week, by title anyway, certainly not functioning in the job, but the title of Attorney General Pam Bondi testified before Congress this week for the House Judiciary Committee. Testify, I would say, is a broad stroke. I don't know that that's how I would say it. I don't know that that's exactly what she did. I don't know that's what I would call it.
I would call it perjury, but go ahead.
Well, you can certainly call it. You can certainly call it perjury. Certainly, Representative Ted Lieu called it perjury. And I'm not sure he was wrong. In fact, he was right when he said that that how should I say it? He asked the Attorney General if Trump had ever been convicted of a crime. She said no, and he said, you just perjured yourself. But she didn't answer a lot of questions because she doesn't have answers. She didn't answer a lot of questions because she doesn't want to answer questions. She didn't answer a lot of questions because it's better for her if she does not answer questions. It's better for this administration if she does not answer questions. The only thing I will give her credit for is that she showed up on Capitol Hill, unlike many of her compatriots, unlike many of her quote-unquote colleagues. And because this administration needed a distraction, from her disastrous, perjurous, illegal, crime-ridden, quote-unquote, testimony. The next day, the Trump EPA reversed its own decision to declare that greenhouse gases are, in fact, harmful to humans and the environment. And that's how this works. This is part of the daily outrage. This is part of Distraction 101. And they continue to distract from the Epstein files as well, by the way. This is Distraction 101. This is a way to keep people off guard, a way to keep people distracted, I guess. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. The daily outrage. So Pam Bondi was a story for about a day and a half. And then the EPA reversal became the story. And then eventually we moved back to the Epstein files. All the while, it's tax season. Mr. Musk has seen his personal wealth grow by nearly $80 billion in the amount of taxes he will not be paying this year because of the big, beautiful bill. There's always another outrage. There's always another distraction. There's always another story. There's always another way to try to keep you off guard. And this past week, was the perfect example of how this administration does exactly that. And how do you deal with it? How do you get through it? If Pam Bondi proved anything this past week, she proved that she is woefully inadequate to fill the position she holds. She's ill-prepared. She's ill-trained. She's ill-experienced. But she's not there to do the job. She's there to protect Trump. And in that way, she's functioning perfectly. As Annabelle said in the chat, she takes a lot of heat off of him. She makes things go away. Or tries to make things go away when it comes to the Epstein files. She's also his attack dog. She was hired to be retribution. She was hired to be the right hand of performative justice. Not actual real justice, but performative justice. And hey, she's involved in these crypto scams. She's going to come out of this an exceptionally wealthy woman. If she resigned tomorrow, she would probably be given positions on boards of directors for large corporations throughout the country, where she barely has to show up, do anything, and just make millions, both in stocks and in direct payment. She's set for life. And I happen to think it's a lot of the reason why some of these people do what they do. Is she a MAGA believer deep down in her heart? I don't know. I honestly don't know that. I don't know that she is. I also don't know that she isn't. But I know that she's got herself set up. She's going to be financially well taken care of. And that's why I think a lot of people do what they do. Is RFK Jr. deep down MAGA to his core? I don't believe so. But he knows he can make a hell of a lot of money, even more money than he already had, which was substantial, being part of the main branch of the Kennedy family. He can make an awful lot of money by being part of all of this. Border Security Czar Tom Holman in an FBI investigation took a sack of $50,000 as an open bribe in an investigation that began under the Biden administration. It carried into the Trump administration and just went away. It just disappeared. And so did the $50,000. Is Tom Holman MAGA to his core? I don't know. I don't know. But he's getting rich. Trump has the most expensive, if you will, cabinet in American history. 13 of his cabinet secretaries are billionaires, not just mega multimillionaires or just plain old millionaires. How dare they be just plain old millionaires? They're billionaires with a B. And the Pam Bondys and the Tom Holmans and the Stephen Millers of the world, they want a chunk of that action. And they're clearly willing to do what they have been instructed to do to become part of it. And they're reaping the benefits. Mr. Miller's a wealthy man now, and probably will be for the remainder of his days. However many of them there may be. For some of us, too many. For the sake of his family, I hope there are plenty. But how do you deal with this? How do you deal with the daily outrage? Or do you at all? Is life so complex that you simply can't deal with the daily outrage? You don't know how to deal with it. You're just struggling paycheck to paycheck to figure out how to get by each and every day with you and your family. That you can't keep track of what the next thing is that's coming. All things that we can talk about here tonight. I encourage, invite, ask, request, welcome your comments and questions, especially your questions for myself and George, as you can help drive the program. From the Associated Press. Whoops, load up for me there. Trump's border czar, that's Tom Holman, says a small security force will remain in Minnesota after the enforcement crackdown. Dateline, Washington, in an article written by Ben Finley for the Associated Press, dated today at 3 p.m. White House border czar Tom Homan said Sunday that more than 1,000 immigration agents have left Minnesota's Twin Cities area, and hundreds more will depart in the days ahead as part of the Trump administration's drawdown of its immigration enforcement surge. Drawdown is a military term. These are not agents. They might officially be immigration agents. They are paramilitary troops. They are borderline active military. They're not quite police. They're above the police, but they're not quite active army or Marines. They're a paramilitary force somewhere in the middle. And all of their actions seem to be described to us, the American people, as military actions. It's why I think the majority of what they do is illegal. But it's also why Trump and the administration and Stephen Miller especially, who is, by the way, probably the most powerful man in the country. Someone that you've heard of, but that you don't know, but who might be just the most powerful person in the country. Stephen Miller. The Constitution won't allow them to put the army on the streets, but they can create their own army that isn't really quite an army. But they're not police either. It's Trump's own paramilitary force. And all of its actions are described in these military type terms. Let me return to the article. A small security force will stay for a short period to protect remaining immigration agents and will respond when our agents are out and they get surrounded by agitators and things got out of control, Holman told CBS Face the Nation. He did not define small. He also said agents will keep investigating fraud allegations as well as the anti-immigration enforcement protest at the disrupted service at a church where Don Lemon was arrested after identifying himself repeatedly as a journalist. Thousands of officers were sent to Minneapolis and St. Paul area for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Operation Metro Surge, just like a military operation. The Department of Homeland Security said it was its largest immigration enforcement operation ever and proved successful. But the crackdown came under increasing criticism as the situation grew more volatile and 2 American citizens were murdered. Murdered being my word, not the Associated Press. Because that's what happened. Chuckles asks in the chat, is it true there's a CEO of a company who only just learned that a layoff means they are firing employees? Did he conflate it with paid vacations or temporary furloughs? Like, I have not heard of that, sir. If you have details on that, you tell me. I'll try to find an article about it and I will share it with the audience. But that is news to me. That is news to me. One other article that I wanted to bring to you. Trump says board of peace, his made up United Nations, is going to be unveiling a $5 billion plan for Gaza reconstruction, pledges at inaugural meeting. Come on. Dateline today. The article is written by Amr Madhani, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. I never mean any disrespect to any of the folks who write these articles, but I don't always pronounce the names correctly. I hope that I did. Aamir Madhani, Amir Madhani. I hope I'm saying that right. He's the author of this article on behalf of the Associated Press. We always credit where we get our news. We always credit it correctly. Dateline West Palm Beach, so Mar-a-Lago. What else is new? Trump said Sunday that members of his newly created Board of Peace have pledged $5 billion toward rebuilding war-ravaged Gaza and will commit thousands of personnel to international stabilization and police forces for the territory. The pledges will be formally announced when the board members gather in Washington on Thursday for their first meeting. The Board of Peace will prove to be the most consequential international body in history, and it is my honor to serve as its chairman. Well, you created it. Of course you're going to be the chairman. Trump said in a social media post announcing the pledges. He did not detail which member nations were making the pledges for reconstruction or would contribute personnel to the stabilization force, but Indonesia's military said Sunday that up to 8,000 of its troops are expected to be ready by the end of June for a potential deployment to Gaza as part of a humanitarian and peace mission. It's the first firm commitment that the Republican president has received. Rebuilding the Palestinian territory will be a daunting endeavor. The United Nations, World Bank, European Union estimate that reconstruction of the territory will cost $70 billion, not the $5 billion pledged so far, but $70 billion. Few places in the Gaza Strip were left unscathed by more than 2 years of Israeli bombardment.
Did you see the logo of the Board of Peace?
It looks like
it's taken from the Buck Rogers in the 25th Century logo, the Earth Defense Directorate. If you look at the Earth Defense Directorate logo from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and you look at the Board of Peace, it's the same logo. They just took all of the colors.
I'm just looking at it. Yeah, it's just white and gold because God knows that man can't get enough gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Craziness. Isn't that crazy? Chuckles mentions, with Lockheed Martin at the top with the largest amount of Defense Department contracts, now ICE rivals the top three companies in the budget. ICE now has, I believe ICE's budget for 2026 is $138 billion, and they want more. It's more than the FBI, more than the CIA. It is the largest, quote unquote, law enforcement agency now in terms of dollars in the country. But again, I'm saying to you, in my partial opinion, but partial the way this is actually playing out. If you look at the way that this is actually happening, this is not law enforcement. This is paramilitary. This is paramilitary. This is not law enforcement. These are
DHSS, as you said.
The DHSS. Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. Hopefully, everybody in the chat will find that fancy. Will fancy that and think it's funny. My chair is stuck. My chair is a little stuck here on my chair pad. Yeah, the DHSS. Annabelle mentions in the chat that Trump can't steal the state, can't steal the army, so he's building his own. Correct. Wish I could talk to you about that for 2 hours and take the rest of the 3 hours of the program to talk and expand upon that. No need to. You're correct. And that the Homeland, George, you would be able to find this quickly. The Homeland Security logo looks like the Iron Eagle for the NZI, for the Nazi Iron Eagle. Is that what you're trying to say, Annabelle? And of course, the logo for the Space Force looks like very much like Starfleet Academy. If you've seen that before, have a Google at that one. The logo for Homeland Security, and then the logo for the Space Force. So I want to play with something. I wonder if anybody will. Appreciate this. Can you hear that? It was applause. I was just curious whether it worked. I see these things here. There's a lot of them. But I do, I don't think I need them, but interesting. It's neat. I'm playing with this new thing. I don't know what I think of it, but I'm playing with it. Oh, gosh. This is an interesting article in the AP because it comes to us from the Munich security conference that took place this week. It finished today, actually. Europeans push back at U.S. claim they face civilizational erasure. This is an article written by Emma Burrows and Geir Molson for the Associated Press. Again, we always credit where we take our news from. Dateline, Munich, Germany. A top European Union official on Sunday rejected the notion that Europe faces quote-unquote civilizational erasure, pushing back at the criticism of the continent of the Trump administration. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas addressed the Munich Security Conference a day after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio offered a somewhat reassuring message to European allies. He struck a less aggressive tone than did Vice President J.D. Vance did, lecturing them at the same gathering last year, but maintained a firm tone on Washington's intent to reshape the transatlantic alliance and push its policy priorities. Kallas alluded to criticism in the U.S. national security strategy released in December, which asserted that the economic stagnation in Europe is, quote, is eclipsed by the real and more stark prospect of civilizational erasure. It suggested that Europe is being enfeebled by the immigration policies, declining birth rates, censorship of free speech and suppression of political opposition, and a loss of national identities and self-confidence. Contrary to what some may say, woke, decadent Europe is not facing civilizational erasure, Kallas told the conference. In fact, people still want to join our club, and not just fellow Europeans, she added, saying that she was told when visiting Canada last year that many people there have an interest in joining the European Union. Is this just more racism from the Trump regime? Trying to tell Europe that simply because it has welcomed immigrants that it is somehow taken itself to the brink of destruction? Civilizational erasure? What a term. What a set of words to be used together. I'm not even sure. I was going to say I'm not even sure I understand it, but I do understand it. If I was the Europeans, the German chancellor spoke to the Munich conference earlier in the week, telling the attendees that the post-World War II, quote-unquote, world order was done, and that it was time for Europe to stand up and prepare itself to stand, to no longer rely on the United States as a stable partner. And he's right. He's right. The damage that has been done to the American government, not just its foreign policy, but the literal structure of the American government, is so pervasive, so widespread, so deep, that even if the Democratic nominee is elected president in 2028, it will take decades to restore the federal government to where it was before Project 2025. Democrats are formulating a Project 2029, as they should. They should be operating as a shadow government. Why they aren't, like a proper European-style shadow government. But it will take decades to restore the federal government. It is always easier to destroy than to build. It's always easier to destroy than to build. And that's what we're watching. That's what Project 2025 was designed to do, was to destroy. It was not meant to build anything other than to continue to build the wealth of the billionaire class. Mr. Musk is well on his way to becoming human history's first trillionaire. He is once again on his way. There was a little bump in the road there when he first bought Twitter. There was a little bump in the road there when he had his messy girl spat fight with Trump. There's been a minor scratch on the surface with his name showing up in the Epstein files. But then again, I'm beginning to think whose name is not in there. Tell me the people who are not in it. But he's back on his way to becoming human history's first trillionaire. And that's what Project 2025 was designed to do. End democracy, the permanent it's the word I'm looking for. The permanent installation of the billionaire class as the rulers of this country. The end of democracy. The permanent installation of billionaire-led fascism. That's what Project 2025 was designed to do. And by and large, it has been fabulously successful. Not fabulous in a good way. It has been deleteriously successful. 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189. Phone line is open. 267-227-9189. You can call us if you want. Your comments, questions in the chat would be deeply appreciated. Annabelle says, if you like the show, give it a thumbs up and share it. I would be thrilled if you did that. Thank you, Annabelle, for asking people to do that. I appreciate it very much. Obama and Biden are not in the Epstein files. You are right, Randall. Isn't that something? Presidents Obama and Biden are not in the Epstein files. But it does seem to have gotten to a point where It's more about who isn't than who is. And this administration is protecting them. There's no question about it. It's protecting the people who are in those files because they're wealthy. They're by and large white and wealthy. If they are not billionaires, they are mega multimillionaires. Some of them with personal wealth well over $500, $600, $700, $800 million. And imagine being worth. Imagine, because it's all we can do. We're never going to know anything close to what it's actually like to be this type of person. But imagine what it's like to be worth, I don't know, $500 million. Just imagine that. What it's Steve Witkoff, one of Trump's closest friends, if he has any, and his special envoy to Russia and special envoy to the Middle East. His estimated net worth is somewhere in the range of $700 million. Imagine going to a cabinet meeting and being the least wealthy person in the room. At $700 million. Imagine how $700 million could fall out of Elon Musk's pocket and he wouldn't even know it. He'd never miss the money. Or Bezos. Or Zuckerberg. Or Peter Thiel. Imagine how $700 million could just literally fall out of your jacket pocket and you'd never even know. You'd never even notice it. You know, they do say that money can't buy happiness, but it buys a hell of a lot of comfort. It seems to buy a hell of a lot of quote unquote justice. It buys an awful lot of comfort. Annabelle mentions in the comment that these are wealth hoarders. It is a hoarding syndrome. This is a psychopathy. This is a mental disease. When you have the $500 billion plus that Musk is worth, and to still think to yourself, it's not enough. I want more. I want to be, that you are driven to be Earth's first trillionaire. God knows how many civilizations have come and gone off this planet. It's a topic for another day. But imagine being so driven to be the world's first trillionaire that you're willing to kill to do it. To stomp on people, to union bust, rape and pillage people's wealth. The final numbers are in on the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. It actually cost the federal government $83 billion. It didn't save anything. It actually cost the government money. But Musk got new contracts and got a tax break worth tens of billions of dollars to him personally. Now, Annabelle mentions in the chat that these people can fix every lead pipe in America and not really have it affect their bottom line. I've told this story on the air before. In his younger days, when he was still hailed as Tony Stark, when he was still hailed as this sort of human hero of innovation and invention, before we really knew who Elon Musk was or is, he went to the United Nations and said, how much money do you want to end global hunger? And they said, if you give us $15 billion, we can do it. He never gave him a dime. because a lot of that money was going to be spent in the African continent. And as we know, Mr. Musk from South Africa tends to hate people with darker skin than him. And he didn't want to help feed, quote unquote, those people. So he never did anything to solve it. Annabelle's right insofar as they could take their money and fix every lead pipe in the country, except that who would benefit from that? A lot of people of color. Now, poor whites would benefit from it as well, but a lot of people of color would benefit from it, and Mr. Musk doesn't exactly enjoy that. He didn't like that too much. So he hasn't done it, and he's not going to. He wants to be a trillionaire. What's his is his, and what's yours is his. Now let's see how this goes. I'm assuming it's Randall. Oh, wait, who is it? Annabelle? Okay, so I have to rig this. Hold on once. Let me try to rig this phone so you can get into the microphone. Go ahead. Tell us what's on your mind.
Okay, you want to know about hunger, homelessness, all that? Okay, I can tell you. People don't want to hear it, but I can tell you.
Go ahead.
Anything that benefits black or brown people, this government is against.
Do you think the entire, the current government, or all governments, or
everything is structured in this country?
And do you think that's universal among its citizens as well? Or governments?
Yes. Who was, okay, I've forgotten his name, but who was president right after, I think, World War II?
It would have been Harry Truman.
Around Truman, okay. He's the one that got together the Medicaid, no.
Medicaid was Johnson in the 60s.
I forget. Okay. Who put together the food stamp?
That was all part of the. That was all part of the of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society.
That's the one.
In the 60s.
He created government jobs where they build stuff.
That would have been Roosevelt after the Great Depression. So once the Great Depression hit, among one of the first things that Roosevelt did when he took office is he went to the largest companies on the country and said to them, you need to hire people. We will help subsidize the hiring of these people, but people need jobs. You need to hire people and put them to work so that they can get a paycheck, and that money can then reverberate throughout the economy. It's how an economy works. It works on the constant flow and exchange of money. That's why the hoarding that you mentioned by billionaires is so deleterious to the economy. That's why it's so destructive to the economy, because that money is being removed from circulation and being hoarded. An economy works on the way money flows and changes hands throughout an economy. You buy a house, you then one of the most effective things that can happen in an economy is home ownership. Not rentals, by the way. Home ownership. You take out a loan, the bank makes money.
Property always goes up in value.
Right. It's still the best way. It's still the best way to build personal wealth. But my point is, so those companies told Roosevelt, we're not hiring anybody because we don't have work. We don't need people. We don't want people. We don't want the expense of the added labor, even if the government was going to subsidize it to a point. So Roosevelt said, I will bypass all of you and I will put the people to work directly. And that's exactly what he did as part of the New Deal. They built roads, and post offices,
Bridges.
schools, bridges, dams, campgrounds, national parks, local community
New
parks.
graveyards.
They built
Anything that needed building.
they built things all across this country and put people to work so that they had money to spend, and saved the American economy and actually saved the world economy, because the Great Depression ended up being a global economic crisis, and all the other countries brought themselves out of it the same way, by massive spending, infrastructure spending. We always tend to think of infrastructure as roads and bridges, but infrastructure is a lot of different things. It's schools and libraries and water systems and power systems and airports and post offices, and I think I said schools, but infrastructure is a lot of different things. So go ahead. I'm sorry, but I had to tell that story.
Okay, I was like, come on. It's a learning program.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay,
I hope people think that. I hope so.
My point is that president that was in office at the time he made the food stamp program together, he looked, and again, forget which one it was. I know you just told me.
Lyndon Johnson.
Looked at England and saw that they had a universal health care. He wanted to implement universal health care. And he was about to until a few racists in Congress was like, hold on, I mean, black people get to benefit from this too?
The Medicare.
See, they got it. They got it to the point. They got it to a point that white people get food stamps because of all the hoops you have to jump through. They got it to where predominantly what that was is for white widows from the war and have food. So it's for the same reason why the voting rights for women, 1920, white women, but they left the black women behind. Whole other kettle of beans.
Yeah. The Medicare program
Anyway,
was originally designed to be national health care.
A food stamp. So food stamp.
No. You asked me about you mentioned national health care. The Medicare program was
national health care, but when they found out that
everybody would
people
benefit, then yes, exactly right.
I was like, no, we can't do it.
Right.
That is why, to this day, we cannot get universal health care, because they don't want black and brown people to benefit. Bottom line, that's it. So what we need to do is we need to get these racist people out of office. That's what it comes down to.
Correct. And the only thing that's going to solve it is voting. Voting is the only thing that's going to solve it.
I think the new honey badgers are coming up. I call them my honey badgers. But the Gen Alpha, they're not taking no
stuff.
They are not taking no poo-poo. I love my little honey badgers.
Yeah, they don't seem.
Yeah,
their Generation Alpha is really very remarkable. They have grown up in a country that has never known anything other than Reaganism for 50 years now, where they have been taught to distrust their own government. They have been taught that the only people they can trust are the richest people in the country. They have been fed this quote unquote prosperity doctrine. Now, have you heard of the prosperity doctrine, Annabelle? Do you know what the prosperity doctrine is?
Okay, I may or may not.
I'll tell you if you don't know.
If you're a good worker bee, you do your due diligence, eventually you can work your way up.
That's
queen bee.
that's the American dream. The prosperity doctrine is a neo-fascist white Christian corporate nationalist ideal. That how do we know? How does God tell us who should be the leaders of the country or the world, for that matter? He tells us. He tells us by showing us which people he has granted the most riches to. That somehow Elon Musk and his money are divinely granted upon him, and that the fact that he is as wealthy as he is somehow supposed to make him a leader, or supposed to make him, supposed to put him in a leadership class. It's called the prosperity doctrine.
Oh, that goes from how we evolved as a species in a herd mentality. Biggest and strongest in the front. So we let them lead, and in exchange, they get the best. They get to eat first. They get to drink first. But in exchange, when there's fighting to be done, they get out in the front line first.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it started. And then as we evolved into creatures of society, the biggest and strongest became the leader of that little village, which eventually turned into a king.
Mm-hmm.
But in return, your subjects bowing down to you, you on the front line to take the arrows in the chest in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You are there to take the heat of the brunt of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, I'm going to be in the front and I'm going to get all these goodies, and then you throw the pawns under the bus into the fire and let them take the brunt of the storm, which is what we got now. Because our country is basically a bunch of lily-livered cowards. They got all the riches. They were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but they don't know the responsibility of being out in the front. The prince of Saudi Arabia said his father came in on a camel. I come in on a Benz. My son comes in on an Escalade. My grandson will come in on a camel. Because eventually this does break. The cradle does break. It may be cushy now, but there's going to be a time this system cannot. You spin a top, eventually it goes out of orbit. So yeah,
it slows eventually.
Well,
gravity slows.
Yeah, the ebb and flow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, right now we got a bunch of people that don't know how to wash their own underwears, but is dining on filet mignon and wagyu. And let this cradle burst. Let's see how much they can defend themselves.
Thank you.
They're going to be helpless.
I suppose.
Right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's a lot of wealth to get wiped away, but it wouldn't bother me to see it. Let's put it that way. It's a lot of wealth to get wiped away, but it won't. I won't cry tear for.
When we were growing up, we went to school. We had after school programs. We had free college. If you went to community college, that was free. You have to work in the industry for the city that you went your degree for 2 years. It's like example, if you went to be, I don't know what they call that, a nurse's aide or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you would go and you would get your 2-year degree, and then you would go and work at free clinic for 2 years. You would get base pay minimum wage, but it's an exchange. That's how they managed to give away free college. You have free lunch, free breakfast. You didn't have to provide anything, any information that you were destitute or anything.
And they still do this all throughout Europe. Yeah. We could learn a lot. We could learn an awful lot from the Europeans.
Reagan that tore apart.
Yes, he did.
It was Reagan that tore apart the free school lunches, the after-school programming, to give the tax break, the rich, all the trickle down.
It all began with Reagan.
And we know what was going on. The Democrats were handing out umbrellas saying, "Be careful, they're going to piss on you."
Yeah.
I didn't mean to take up all your time.
No, that's good.
I'm
Thank
go
you
ahead
so
and
much.
Going
You call us again, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Annabelle brings up something really important, though. I think she's right. This generation alpha, because we had to recycle, we went to generation X, Y, and Z. So we started again at the beginning of the alphabet. I think is really quite remarkable because they don't know anything other than Reagan and Reaganism. Even if they don't know who Reagan is, they know Reaganism. They have been taught to distrust their churches to an extent. They have been taught to completely distrust their own government. They have been taught that they are not part of a community and part of a society, but that they are rugged individuals. And yet somehow they've been taught that this prosperity doctrine is not only true, but preferable to democracy. And yet somehow this generation of young people has looked in the mirror and said, no, something's wrong here. And they have fought back. And I think that's really quite remarkable. And I hope that it continues to happen that way. 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189. If you want to call now is a great time. If there are no new phone calls or new questions or anything in the chat, then we'll probably end up wrapping up the program somewhat soon. That'll be Randall. He warned me. And go. Hang on a second. Hold on, Randall. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here. There's so much has happened this last week. You had the debauchery of our Secretary, Department of Justice, just out lying and changing the subject and going into the stock market as if that has anything to do with the reality of repression and American citizens being murdered and going to detention camps being murdered. Except they're not detention camps; they're prison camps.
Mm-hmm. They're concentration.
Sorry.
They actually meet the textbook definition of concentration camp.
They do, yes. But I got a lot of Jewish friends that get upset calling me saying that.
I can understand that, but the textbook definition of a concentration camp is exactly what we're seeing, and in fact, we're seeing two new ones coming to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, our governor Chappelle's trying to fight that. Shapiro, every way he can. I just hope he succeeds because we don't need that.
Right? No, we do not. You are correct, sir.
There's going to be at the rate they're going. There's going to be more prison concentration camp warehouses than there would be any illegal immigrants in this country. So where is that extra cages going to be for?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it's going to be for political enemies like me, like you. In any case.
How are you feeling, sir? I know we just talked last night, but I want to ask you how you're feeling anyway. How are you feeling?
You know, the air quality has been so bad.
Right.
Including up to your area, up to Lehigh Valley. I'm having a real difficult time breathing with my really severe COPD. That's all I'm going to say. You know.
Okay.
And air quality is going to get 10 times worse. I mean, the first Earth Day in April 1970, I was a 17-year-old, my senior year in high school, and I attended the first Earth Day in Fairmont Park, Philadelphia, up on the plateau.
Right.
And we were only concerned at that time about clean water and clean air.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few more years till we finally got to the point of, oh yes, toxins in the land too. The land. And executive order and Trump ordering his EPA to completely, and him going on and saying it's all a hoax. No. More people are going to die of revoking air quality controls for an EPA. More people. Those with asthma, those with like COPD, those with people of color living next door to refineries.
Yep. And power plants. Yep. And there's no reason to do it other than for profit of the fossil fuel companies, and because we don't care if people of color that live by power plants die. There's no reason for it other than profit.
Yep. And him pushing coal, and then canceling. Heck, the one wind farm off the coast of was it Massachusetts was almost done.
Rhode Island. But they went to court. They went to court for that and won. That funding was restored, and that wind farm is going to be completed.
Right.
And I believe New Jersey is in court for the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. I very well may have that incorrect, but I don't think that I do. There was a wind farm that was supposed to be built off the southern coast of New Jersey that would power all of New Jersey, and the Trump administration withheld funds for that too, and I believe New Jersey went to court to have that funding restored as well. And again, these are funds. These are not new monies. These are monies that were appropriated during the Biden administration by an act of Congress, which means they are law.
Which means he just thinks he can break every law in the book.
And until someone stops him, yes. Until someone stops him, he does think that, because nobody has stopped him.
He's got his get out of jail card free from the Republican and three of his appointees on the Supreme Court.
Yep.
So he thinks he can't be prosecuted. He can break all laws in the world. He can't be prosecuted.
That's right. That's what he thinks.
It's funny thing.
It's the only thing that stops it is voting.
And the SAVE Act it's. I don't have a passport. I don't have a real ID. I don't have a birth certificate. I guess I'll be disfranchised.
if this act becomes law, you would be.
And I can't, all these married women that their name on their birth certificate is different than on their driver's license, or they're all going to be disfranchised. And poor people, it's not just people of color, there be poor whites, absolutely will be disfranchised because they don't have birth certificates, they don't have passports, they don't have anything to prove that they are citizens. And then if you throw in, well, let's put ICE and do away with mail-in ballots. A safe way, physically a safe way to vote. But we're going to surround all our voting polling places with ICE, with this private paramedic army, paramilitary army.
Mm-hmm.
To intimidate anybody to go vote, especially if
it will
person of color.
Right. It will intimidate a lot of people and scare a lot of people, which is exactly what it's meant to do.
Yep. Like Philadelphia here in Pennsylvania is one of the few cities in the country that is the majority of citizens are Black Americans.
One of the few northern and majority Black cities left. Yeah.
Yes. Other cities are multi-racial, like New York City,
mm-hmm.
like Chicago, like LA. But that's, we're one of the few majority Black cities in the whole country. I'm just waiting for him to send his goon squad here. I got a feeling he's not going to do it until after July 4th because he doesn't want to put any bad rep on the 250th anniversary.
Right.
But as soon as July 4th's done and the FIFA games are done,
mm-hmm.
now going to end up like Minneapolis and Chicago and LA and Portland were, in my opinion.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
The troops that are coming out of Minneapolis are going to end up going somewhere. And I certainly doubt that they're going home. They're being, it's been reported that these so-called officers are being paid $250,000 a year, each one. So they're not going to send them home to do nothing. They're simply going to go somewhere else. Where they're going to go next, I don't know. But I think you're right in that as we get closer to the midterm elections, you're going to see these ICE surges in places like Philadelphia, Detroit, Atlanta, Baltimore. I think you're going to see a lot of. I think you're going to see them in a lot of different places. Whether they return back in numbers to Minneapolis or Chicago or Los Angeles, I can't really say. But I think you haven't seen. There has been ICE activity in Philadelphia, but it has not been the levels that we saw in Minneapolis. I think you very well could see that as we get closer to the election, and perhaps throughout the 4 big congressional districts here in Pennsylvania that are being targeted by Democrats to flip. I happen to live in one of them, the PA7. We could see massive ICE activity right up here in the Lehigh Valley to try to scare people from voting, in addition to the SAVE Act, if the SAVE Act is passed and becomes law, which I don't think is a fait accompli, by the way. As much as many Democrats, or as much as many Republicans want it, I don't think it's a fait accompli quite yet. What else you got before we say goodbye?
Well, the Olympics has been a good diversion.
You know what? You're right. It's been a good diversion. I've deeply, deeply enjoyed it. I love watching sports that I don't get to see on a regular basis. Spring training, spring training for baseball started last week. Pitchers and catchers reported. You can watch baseball any night of any week from the end of March all the way through to the beginning of November. But you don't always get to see the luge or the bobsled or speed skating or ski jumping or cross-country skiing, and I have enjoyed it deeply. And we still need these healthy distractions. The Olympics are a healthy distraction. We'll get right back into the news tomorrow, and there'll be another daily outrage from this regime tomorrow, Monday. But the Olympics will still be there at least for one more week. That's a healthy distraction. When it takes over to a point where we ignore everything else, it's not as healthy. But if it's something that we can turn on for an hour or two and kind of decompress as we deal with our daily lives and as we deal with the daily outrage, and we still keep ourselves informed and we still keep ourselves connected to the news, then a couple of hours of distraction is not a bad thing. And I hope that everybody takes advantage of it.
Of course, right now, live, and I've got it on the TV with the sound turned down, but with captions on, is the All-Star game.
Yeah,
basketball.
I could care. Yeah, that I could care less. I got to be honest.
Okay,
Just me. That doesn't mean other people should care less. I'm just saying me personally. If it floats your boat, then God bless you.
Well, it's here because one son-in-law, daughter, and grandkids are here.
Oh, good.
We almost every Sunday have both close families to Andrew and I's house,
right?
Here for Sunday day.
Good.
And so that's on while I'm watching you and George and listening.
Well, thank you for that.
And anyway, now me, I like ice hockey.
I was watching the Americans play hockey before. They were in the third period when I came up here to get ready for the program. They were up, I think they were up 5-0. I don't know where it ended up, but I mean, 5-0 should have been pretty comfortable. So I think that probably ended up okay. We know where this is headed. Gold medal clash with Canada. Let's hope.
See the slot in the semifinals.
Yeah, let's hope. All right, my friend.
Hope
we're going to wrap up, okay?
I'm going to let you go.
Thank you, my friend.
George.
All my best to you and the family. All my best, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Too.
You got
Steve and your dog. And
all right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now. We got about 3 minutes left of the program. We're ending up here at 7:30. I hope that you all enjoyed the program. I know that there was a lot of new faces and new names in here. I hope that you will continue to be part of the program on a weekly basis. We are here every week, every Sunday night from 6 p.m. here at hot101.net and GCPR and on the video streaming and all of it. I hope that you will make us part of your listening schedule, a regular listening schedule each Sunday night. I plan to be back here. So now the next couple of weeks, I am going to be trying to get my petitions signed to run to once again become a member of the Pennsylvania State Democratic Committee. But I expect that I will still be here because any activities that I will be doing for that would be done by this time of night anyway. So I expect to be back here with you for the next, good number of Sundays really in a row, probably until Palm Sunday, I should think. I don't think there's going to be anything getting in our way here, probably until maybe Palm Sunday or Easter Sunday. So we should be with you for a pretty good stretch here. Today is the 15th. That means the 22nd, March 1st, March 8th, 15th, 22nd, the 29th is Palm Sunday, April 5th is Easter. I suspect we'll be with you straight through till Easter. We're rarely on one of these runs, but it looks like we're going to be on a pretty straight run all the way through to Easter with you every single Sunday here on the program. George, anything you want to add before we get out of here and enjoy this this lovely new streaming service, which I'm enjoying playing with quite a bit, to be honest with you?
No, nothing.
I thought it looked good, though.
It does look good.
It looks good. I'm happy with it. The phone is what it is. We'll get there. We'll get that fixed at some point.
We will get the phone sorted out. Don't worry.
But yeah. So a little bit of homework for all of you. I had it up on the screen for a good long time. Do a Google search on the SAVE Act. SAVE. Save like save money. On the SAVE Act. It will rob many of you of your right to vote if it becomes law. Period. You think you can vote? Wait if the SAVE Act is passed. We'll continue to talk about things like that going forward. I didn't get to the SAVE Act tonight. Deliberations in Congress are still going on about the SAVE Act. Deliberation in state. So we'll be able to talk about that as we continue to move forward. So for everyone, Annabelle says, you know how to pin a comment. I did. Just like that. I know how to pin a comment. How about that? Taught myself that tonight. Didn't know I could do that, but I taught myself that tonight. Take that, technology. Take that. Anyway, all right. For everyone at hot101.net, for DJ Lex, DJ Earl, and the entire team at hot101.net, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your broadcast night, even though it was abbreviated tonight. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your broadcast night. We will see you again next Sunday. The music returns right now. For everyone at gcpr.live, gcpr.live, if you ever wanted to know everything that you ever wanted to know about GCPR and more, at our website, gcpr.live, 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 gcpr.live. So to our radio listeners at GCPR, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your broadcast day. Don't forget now. So we got about an hour from now. Take the dog for a walk, get a snack, go back, watch the Olympics a little more, whatever it is that you do. The pre-show for the Villains View will be starting about an hour 15 from now. Full throttle live from 9 p.m. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11. Thomas kicks off your broadcast work week tomorrow from 8 a.m. So GCPR Live, thanks so much for allowing us to be part of your day. We'll talk to you next Sunday. For those of you on our video streaming services, thank you so much for taking us in on our new service here. We hope you enjoyed the program, and we hope that you will always welcome here. Did I tip? Did I touch something? I think I did.
No, I did. No, it was my.
I thought I touched a sound effect.
No.
Not mean to do.
No.
But I could.
I went to go scratch my head. I hit my microphone.
Do that. I could do a heartbeat. Do one of those.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what I think of all these.
If you were playing Mortal Kombat, I don't know.
I don't know what I think of all these things, by the way. Could do one of those. What can I say? All right. It's not a sound effect show. It's not something that we do, but they're here. And now that I know that they're here,
oh my God, you are going to be dangerous.
We may have to play a little bit. Anyway, Thanks so much for allowing us to be part of your broadcast week. We will see you all again next week. For everyone at gcpr.live, that's Thomas and Gilbert and Gambit. And I especially really want to say thank you to Gilbert for helping George get all of this new stuff together. There's a 1-800 number coming soon. Well, it's kind of, I know what
service. It's going to be a service. But
yeah,
but
there's a station-wide phone number coming soon where you will be able to reach every single show on GCPR and be part of their broadcast as long as they're taking phone calls. It'll be one phone number for everything here at GCPR. So keep an eye out for that as well. So for Thomas and Gambit, Gilbert, and everybody at GCPR, for everybody at the Kennedy Effect, that's Lynn and George, Kristen, Daisy the dog, and April Riddick. This is Jeff Faubert saying, this is
Faubert?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
Thanks so much for being part of the program. We will see you again next week. Until then, we've done about all the damage we can do. Until then, take care of yourselves and each